Good morning. This is Kamera again. We're on day number 142. We're in the book of Ezra, chapter 4 through 7. And the exiled Judah has now been given permission to go back to Jerusalem, to build the temple of God. And they've already laid the foundation. And so I thought that, you know what, it'd be great to see how far Babylon, which is where they were exiled, how far it was from Judah. And so I pulled up this picture. First of all, I want to show you Israel. This is all of Israel. And I like this picture because it shows you the different sections of Israel. And you look on the bottom there, you'll see Judah. And in the center of Judah is Simeon. You see that on the bottom of the screen there. But I want to show you that that's a close-up of all of Israel, including Judah. And then here is the best map I can really find that shows you where Israel is, where Judah is. It's really small because there's a distance there. So you'll see the Judah, but then you have to scroll all the way over to the far right to see Babylon. And that's where the children of Israel were exiled to. And here's another picture here that shows you the trek. I believe it shows you the trek that they took. But you'll see where you have, I'm trying to give you a better picture. You guys might want to look it up on the site yourself, but you'll see the distance of that they took. Is that upside down? Sorry. All right, but you'll see the trek there. Oh my God, I can't believe that was upside down. Here it is here. And so, yeah, I'm not going to start that over. So, I can, but just shaking it up a bit. See if you guys paying attention. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that Babylon was not an easy trek. And they had to go through, so you had Judah, they had to go through all of Israel over to Assyria. And then from Assyria, look at that. You have Judah, they had to go up to Assyria, and then over to Babylon. And remember, the children of Israel, they're exiled into Assyria. But you'll see the little trek. They took the children of Judah from Judah up to Assyria and then down to Babylon. You know something? Yeah. So I just wanted to show that because I'm like, wait, how far was that? Maybe, let me bring up some pictures or what have you. Anyway, they're children of Judah. God is granting them favor. But get this. In this book, we find that the children of Israel have some straight up enemies. These enemies want to stop the building. We'll start from the beginning. They offer to help the children of Judah build the temple. Children of Judah said, no, this is our task. We'll do this. But these were enemies, though. They had ulterior motives. I bet they had ulterior motives if the children of Israel would have let them help out. Anyway, further along, you'll see where they did have some hate going on. So what they did was, listen to what they do, though. They send a letter. This was then during the king of Cyrus. Cyrus was the one who gave the children of Israel, children of Judah, the permission to go. God had told him to do this, right? And so he sent the children of Judah to do that, and they had so much favor. But then fast forward, the enemies of the land, remember, there were other locals there at this time. And so they did stuff to try to stop the work, right? So they try to frighten the people. They try to bribe the workers just to frustrate the plans. That's what the enemies of Judah would do to try and get them to stop Judah and Benjamin area. And so it says here that there were problems from the time King Cyrus gave them permission up until King Darius. But at Darius, you'll see that's when it stops. And so years later, because children of Israel was still working, but years later, there was this governor. The governor of that town, of that area, his name was Raham. He sent a letter to who was the king at that time. He sent a letter to Artaxerxes. There was Xerxes, and then there was Taxerxes. Those names, right? I might have them wrong. Anyway, he sends a letter to the king, the new king, and he tells them that the children of Judah are building this temple of God. And if you look at the history of these Jews, they revolted against the other kings of the other lands. And so if you allow them to continue to build this temple of God, then they're going to revolt against you, and it's not going to sit well with the king. They're going to cause you harm. And so what Artaxerxes does is he listens, and he goes and he researches the history, the reputation of the children of Judah, and if I'm not mistaken, even Israel. So that reputation, right? Now, this guy didn't say anything about Cyrus, going to pull up Cyrus' letter. He decided to go straight to the history of Judah, how they revolted against other kings. And so, they're not going to be paying tribute to you. They're going to just rebel and all this stuff. And so, of course, if he looks up the history of Judah, of course, you're going to see that they did revolt against the previous kings and what have you, right? And so you have to look at the big picture, right? There's two sides to this. These people, they were enemies. A lot of people, they just feel that they're right and that they are suspicious. So I'm trying to be fair as far as the enemies of Judah. And then you have their history. So you have to look at their point of view. And, I don't know if they were trying to do harm. They were trying to look out for themselves. And when anyone is against us, then they're an enemy. Even if they feel like they're right, they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to prevent something from happening. So you'll look at King Artaxerxes. He felt like, they definitely would be a problem. So yes, let's stop what they're doing, and stop what they're doing. And so that's what they did. Immediately they went and they stopped what the children of Judah was doing, which was building a temple. And so fast forward around the time Haggai and Zechariah, they were prophesying. And so they're prophesying in Judah and Jerusalem. And so what happened? Zerubbabel and Jeshua, they started rebuilding the temple. And so fast forward, you'll see that the new governor Tattenai, he approached him and said, who gave you permission to build this temple? And so he got the names of the workers. And so he wrote the new King Darius, and said, well, listen, before that, when Tattenai asked them who gave them permission to build the temple, they were like, well, this is the original. This temple was originally built. The Lord wanted this built. It was built. What happened was our ancestors, they started to rebel against God and to just turn their back on God. So God caused a lot of enemies to come there. He had Babylon to take us. Babylon took us and put us in exile. And so years later, Cyrus, the Lord told Cyrus, the king of Persia, to send us back. God said, go rebuild the temple. And so that's where we are right now. So they did give the whole story. Originally, it was God's will that we build the temple. We did. We turned our back on God. God allowed bad things to happen to us, even put us into exile. But then he told us to come back and rebuild it. And so Tattenai, what he did was, after he got the names and all that, their word, he sent a letter to King Darius. And so what his letter said was, he gave them the names of the workers, and he told them that King Cyrus had gave them permission to rebuild the temple. And so what happened was Darius, he researched what Governor Tattenai had told him and found that, yes, Cyrus did give them permission to build the temple of God. And so Darius sends a letter back to governor and tell him, listen, don't stop what they're doing. Let them. This is the thing, though. Tattenai never stopped them either. He just took their little word and sent the letter, but he never stopped them from building. God was in that thing. And so the letter that Darius sent to Tattenai was, don't stop them from doing, don't hinder them. In fact, I want you guys to help the elders to help them as the building is being built. And I want you guys to pay the full price of the construction from the taxes. And I want for you to give the priests everything they need for their burnt offerings. Let the offerings continue. Give them everything they need to build. Everything. And the priests, give them everything they need for sacrifice and offering to God. That way, they keep the king and his sons in prayer. But it's amazing what they went through. But you see God at work here. Even people who are not children of Israel. You see what I'm saying? God deals with everyone. And look at the favor. The favor, yes, there was a problem in the middle, but look at the favor. When it was time, it was time. And so they completed the work on the construction. Because Darius like, don't stop them, help them finish and do it, do it. Do what I tell you. Make sure they get everything they need and work with diligence. And so they completed the building of the temple of God. And they praised God and they worshiped him. And this is the thing. You had who's that? Haggai and Zechariah. They were preaching to them while they were working, just encouraging them in the word. And so, they completed the construction and they had this huge celebration. And there was offerings burned. And then later, I believe a month later, they had the Passover. Isn't that something? And so, it says many years later, the reign of, So Ezra comes into play. And what gets me about Ezra, his lineage is what gets me. Ezra he studied the book of the law. And they say his lineage was this. I'm just going to call out a few of the people who were part of his lineage, his ancestors. Hilkiah, remember Hilkiah? Hilkiah was the one who found that the book of law when Josiah was king of Judah. Hilkiah was the priest at that time. Zadok, you guys remember Zadok, Azariah, Phinehas. These are his ancestors. Eliezer all the way up to Aaron. And so, that's Ezra's lineage. And so, his ancestors. And so they said that he was a scribe. And he studied he was well versed with the book. And he had great favor with the king. Isn't that something? And so this king, they said it was King Artaxerxes. So I guess I got my names mixed. I don't know, because Darius was the one who gave him permission. But Artaxerxes, was he? Yeah, he's of Persia. It says that who gave him the favor told Ezra. He sent Ezra to Jerusalem, and there were some people who went back with him as well. Lots of priests, Levites, temple workers, a lot of them went back with him. This boy had complete power. Complete power. He told Ezra to use the wisdom that God has given him to appoint judges, teach people the law, and anyone who doesn't know about God, teach them. And those who do not receive, then you can punish them in different ways, even to death. So he had great favor. It was told to, take anything he needs to place in the temple to contain the work of God, and anything else you need is at your leisure. You can use it to do whatever you need to do. That's what the king told Ezra. So Ezra had great power at that time, and Ezra, again, a man of God. He praised God for all the favor that God had blessed him with. Guys, this right here, Ezra 4-7. Even before that, I said this a lot. Oh my God, that message was so good. But this was really a good one. They're all good, right? And it gives me so much joy to see God's favor, So guys, I'm gonna get carried away. But ask God for understanding. Ask God to help you find interest in his word and to love and to see him, right? And to help you to do his will. Guys, I'm sorry I can get carried away. Sorry. Anyway, we're on day number 142, Ezra chapter 4 through 7. You have a God-filled, blessed day.